Hello and welcome everyone to another video about show ideas. Today we're looking at my ideas for some shows that could potentially come up in the near future. Some are more likely than others. Some suggestions just that I prefer. Others are just random bullshit. So we're going to have a look at we're going to just take a dive right into this with the very first show, Berts Beans, which is to do with everyone's favourite penguin man, Bert. As you can see by the picture, it's a picture of me holding a Bert. So the concept of this first show is we have 60 to 40 players, and it's normal rounds. It's just they're all named, as you can see, Penguin Run, Tundra Run is now Penguin Run, Skyline Stumble, Penguin Stumble, Penguin Climb. Just penguins everywhere. And if you manage to score 25, uh, if you manage to hold a penguin for 25 seconds, then you immediately qualify to the next round. Uh, that would be, this would be an interesting concept for a particular just in general, seeing rounds where just seeing if people can find these Berts, use these Berts well to qualify. And yeah, I think this could be pretty fun, pretty cool concept. As you can see, we've got hunt rounds as Penguin Pool Party and Penguin Pursuit, the original rounds with penguins in them. And the final rounds are actually Penguin Pool Party, Penguin Pursuit, and I thought it'd be cool to have Royal Fumble as a final in a format in this show. So in the final, of course, it'd be one penguin, and first person to get 25 points just wins. So that's uh, Bert's Beans. That could go really well with an event. Next up, we have Tilting Tawny. This one, this one's just memeable. All the rounds that contain seesaws. So as you can see, we have race levels as Seesaw, Full Tilt, Party Promenade, Pipe Dream, and Night Fever. This includes 360-degree seesaws as well, as you can see in Airtime and Big Shots. And then the final would be the Slime Scraper, which is the seesaw variant in particular, the new one that they added. Which I think this would be quite a cool, quite a rage-inducing show. And yeah, you'd definitely be able to get some of the round one games later on, because Big Shots ain't doing work by itself, is it? Anyways, that's enough from Tilting Tawny. Next we have Ranked Rumble. This is a ranked mode where basically you get 2 crowns. This wouldn't really work right now. I'd say this would be more of an extra crown farming show. It wouldn't be a good idea in the current state of the game, but I was thinking about making this a permanent show. It'd be the only show where the crowns affect your crown rank. But evidently, because the crowns have been removed as a currency, that would not be a good idea. So this would just be kind of a ranked mode where you get extra crowns and your rank depends on what players you're up against. So you can have this instead of the skill-based matchmaking, the solo show. And I just picked the best rounds from every kinda I kinda picked the rounds that would fit a ranked mode more as sort of competitive, or I just compared rounds against similar counterparts to the other rounds and thought which one would be a better idea. So I compared the Swiveler with Jump Club, Big Shots, Rollout as it being a survival round that relies on players getting eliminated. And I picked the Swiveler because Swiveler is the most difficult, is the most interesting. I definitely think took into consideration what a lot of the community would probably vote for as well, like Lily Leapers right here. I went with Roll Off because, yeah, Roll Off's definitely a more intense final than Jump Showdown, let's be honest. Fight Me, yeah. And there'd only be 30 to 20 players, and yeah, I think it'd be quite a cool show. All finals range from 9 to 2 players, so any round can be selected, or any final can be selected at any number in those range. Next up we have a show idea that a lot of people want. Grabbing getting disabled. So, knowing this, we'd have to remove every single round with grabbing in it, which means no wall guys or short circuit. The only team rounds are 4-ball, hoopsie daisy, rock and roll, snowy scrap, and hoarders. We have no like tail tag, penguin pool party, none of that. We just got these 7 hunt levels. I think that's all the survival levels and all the logic levels, and with the finals, it would just be the really boring finals that I hate and that just suck. So here you have it. Here's a show without grabbing. Next up we have What's the Point? Now this show, this one would be a bit of an interesting one. We'd start with 20 to 16 players. And the whole concept of this show is you have 3 rounds and you have to score as many points as you possibly can. The person with the most points at the very end ends up winning. And every round lasts 2 minutes. You have 3 rounds. The first 2 rounds can range from Ski Fall to Hoopsie Legends to Button Bashers to Bubble Trouble, Penguin Pool Party, Bounce Party, and Volleyball. And then the final will be either Hoopsie Daisy or Penguin Pursuit. Because I feel like having team games as like the final round just turned into solo games kind of seems like an alright idea. Yeah, that's all I've really got to say about that one. It's a basic show, but it's quite a cool concept, which I hope they take into consideration if Mediatonic are watching this, which they probably won't be. Let's be honest. Next up, Ultimate Hexmos. This show is basically an expanded hexagon, uh, hexagon thin ice, hexaring trials, whatever it is. So basically, it's every single round that contains hexagons. It'd be only 30 to 20 players, and it would immediately start with. It would be a 5-round long show, starting with Ski Fall as round 1, or Snowball Survival as round 1. And then the next few rounds will be Hexagon, Thin Ice, and Hexering as a survival round, and then the one that doesn't get, and then it would just go into a final of one of the 3. So I think that's a pretty cool concept, and definitely explores the hexagons a little bit more. It seems like a fun little show. Next up, we have The Dark Side. I love this show. I love this show idea. So it's just 60-player show, but you can get literally any of these rounds at any point in time. All the most annoying rounds in the game, you can just get at any time they wish to pop up. Just 60-player chaos. You can even get a 60-player Full Mountain or Royal Fumble or Blast Ball. Yeah, that's a scary thought. You could get a 60-player Penguin Pool Party, a 60-player Stomping Ground, a 60-player Speed Circuit. Some of these sound really hellish. Imagine a 60-player tiptoe. Or a 60-player power trip. Yeah, seems like a nightmare. Anyway. Next we have Trick or Treat. Which, honestly, I think I did a pretty good job with the concept for this one. This one would be, of course, a Halloween event, but this is a better idea for one. So, if you couldn't tell, I really like season 4. Um, yeah. So this is the concept. So you've got trick rounds and you've got treat rounds. The treat rounds are the normal variations, and the trick rounds are special twists to those rounds. And it's Fall Guys 40-41 into a final of Jump Showdown, Roll Off, Slime Final, or Slime Scraper. Um, so down here it shows the trick round variations. So we have Roll On and Skyline Stumble are the extreme versions of those rounds, so no respawns are allowed. Short Circuit has a lot harder of obstacles. All the laser and gravity zones are permanently down, and the flippers always throw you backwards, so you've just got to avoid everything, and everything's out to kill you. Basketball, this one would be just no respawn, so if you try to slam dunk it into your opponent's goal, you get eliminated. So don't do that. Power Trip, only one battery per team. I thought that would make it interesting and make it really chaotic and obnoxious, just like a trick round should be. Button Bashers is basically turned into one of those hunt levels where you have to score a certain amount of points. In this case, 10 points within the time limit to beat your opponent. If the timer runs out, both of you get eliminated. You have to score. You have to win by scoring 10 points. You have to beat your opponent. Big shots, you get 5 cannons on either side of the seesaw. And I feel like also for big shots, what they should do is they should put it on a minute long timer or something, just to add some extra spice, make it more difficult to survive. Hoverboard heroes, the hoverboard platform, instead of having a hoverboard, you have a giant fan that you have to ride to the end. Jump Showdown, or instead of doing that, they could just use the extreme variation with the fan on the opposite side of the cannons. That also works. Jump Showdown has high gravity. Yeah, I thought it would be fun to make it near impossible to get over the spinning bar in Jump Showdown. In Roll Off, both rollers spin really slowly, but they spin a lot slower, but they'll also roll towards the same direction. So it'll be basically another version of hexering, but with the regular rollers. That would be quite cool, I feel like. Slime Final and Slime Scraper have a lot more big eatuses. So basically a big eatus in basically every section. So you have to try and use the eatuses to make your way to the top. But they can also be dangerous to use as well. So yeah, that's the idea for that show. I feel like that'd be a pretty cool show for Halloween. I hope this gets into Fall Guys. uh, yeah, backward battle. You just got to play the levels backwards. So yeah, these are the levels which you'd play backwards. You'd play Gate Crash, Hit Parade, Seesaw. From what I can tell, these are the ones you could play backwards. Big Fans, Skyline Stumble, Lily Leapers, Full Tilt, Wall Guys, Freezy Peak, and Short Circuit as the race levels. I feel like for Skyline Stumble to work, they just have to lower the finish line down. or lower the start line even. And then for the final round, you've got Roll On and Pipe Dream. Pipe Dream, of course, as a final round, I feel like would work quite well. You got to use the pipes and you got to go backwards. You got to find the you got to as the original level was intended initially to be a final round apparently. And Roll On, just I made a video on playing that one backwards, and that was actually quite fun to do because you got to you got to climb up the rollers, which is kind of cool. Uh, I reckon that would be quite a fun one to do backwards, and it would definitely be worth a final round. Only 30 to 20 players? Yep, sounds about right. And anyways, this one's obviously not making it in. This is just a show to show off my favorite rounds. Uh, as you can see, it will never happen, but this is the show with my top 10 favorite rounds. Uh, uh, that I would hope would be put in my show. So you'd have Skyline Stumbles, the round one game, then it would go into like Jinxed or something. The Slime Scraper, Penguin Pursuit, Fall Ball, Hoopsie Legends, Volleyball, and the finals would be Slime Final, Royal Fumble, and Blast Ball. Very fun rounds, and I really want to see more of these rounds. I love these rounds so much. Anyways, next up, let's continue on some more fun ideas. Couch 5K. So this, of course, I got an idea for while I was running Parkrun last week, which is a 5K run. So I was like, wouldn't it be crazy if they did a 5K thing in Fall Guys? And basically, it would be you have a time limit to race 5 laps in either short circuit or speed circuit. They'd be called short track 5K and speed track 5K. And they'd both be final rounds, and it would be basically whoever can make it to the end of those 5 laps in the time limit just wins. You can have multiple winners. It would be we're being extremely non-competitive here, but I mean the first player, of course, would still get the celebration because why not? Uh, yeah, 30 to 20 players. I don't know. I feel like it could do. We could do that many players. Next up, we have no jumps. So we had the no grabbing show earlier, which was about preventing the grab button from being used. So now we have, to make it fair, no jumps. So you only have to dive over everything if you have to jump anyways. So I handpicked the rounds. I made it so there's less rounds, but it's more so tend towards not being like unfair. So I went with Hit Parade, Night Fever, Tundra Run, Seesaw, Full Tilt, Track Attack, Tiptoe, and Fruit Shoot as the regular race levels. Team levels, I went with Rock and Roll and Snowy Scrap because, yeah, they just make sense as being the team levels where you don't jump, you're just rolling a ball around. Then we have Hunt rounds are Tail Tag and Leading Light because why not? Those two I feel like will be quite cool. Survival rounds, Rollout, Snowball Survival, Big Shots, Stomping Round. Again, it's just rounds where you don't have to jump. And then the final rounds I picked to be Roll Off, Thin Ice, and Blast Ball because those ones, of course, don't really require jumping very much. well, Thin Ice requires the most jumping out of all three of them, to be honest. So Thin Ice would be a bit of an iffy one, but we'll keep it in. Next up, this is a show I've been wanting for a while. We have a show dedicated to race rounds. We have a show dedicated to survival rounds. We have a show dedicated to team games. We have a show dedicated to final rounds. Where's our show dedicated to hunt levels? I would call it... So introducing Hunting Around, which is a show based for the hunt levels. So, the way it would work is we'd still have 60 to 40 players, and the round one round would be airtime. Because I feel like either airtime or bubble trouble should make the round one, just because those ones hold the most players. And then it's just all the rest of the hunt rounds: tail tag, hoopsie legends, button bashers, penguin pool party, leading light, bounce party, and volleyball, all the way down into a royal fumble final, which hopefully there isn't a bug, although it would be quite funny to see it again. A bug with the royal fumble, in that it's used as a fallback round, and you could get royal fumble with I don't know, like 40 players or so. It'd be great. I want to see this at some point. This is one of the shows I really want the most, because it just makes sense to go to here from where they are now. Among Guys. This could be an event for the Among Us skins, for the people who don't have them. And basically what it is few players are selected to be an imposter who can literally just grab players and instantly eliminate them. In the race levels, the imposter players would start behind, but to make it would start a decent bit behind. But to make it more fair, any number of players can qualify. It's just the imposters are trying to catch up and eliminate people. So I'm saying probably about 15 or so players to start with will be imposters. And they'll have to grab other players and try to get them eliminated. These are the rounds that I feel would be the most intense to have imposters running around on. And then the final rounds, yeah, seem very, very intense. The Hexagon Blast Ball finals and the Swiveler as a survival round. I would personally love to see airtime, because airtime seems like it'd be pretty hilarious with the imposters running around chasing after you, because you then have to keep on the move. You can't just keep cheesing it, because then the imposters will try and chase you down. Jinxed, of course, would be just a solo game, a solo version. Everyone would just be trying to survive the imposters. So, would it be a hunt or would it be a survival? I guess for the imposters, more of a hunt. For everyone else, just a survival game. Yeah. That's all I have to say about that one. Jumping for Joy. Now, if you guys remember, this is the time is kudos part of the video. If you guys remember, in season 5 Legacy, there was a time is kudos event where we had 5 shows, and they were all themed around an obstacle. Now, all of them apart from Blow Up had a select 5 rounds, which were just the only rounds that were played in that show. The only rounds that could be played, because I don't know why. But yeah. This is an expanded version of these. So we have all the bars, all the rounds of spinning beams in. So, like, Hit Parade, Dizzy Heights, uh, Big Fans, the Whirligig, Tail Tag, Jump Club, the Swiveler, Airtime, Perfect Match, because yes, that variation with the big spinning bar is a thing. And then the final round would be either Jump Showdown or Lost Temple. Lost Temple doesn't have it guaranteed, so I don't know what the developers would think about that. But I feel like as an additional variation specifically for this show, they should make every single room just a room with containing one of the spinning bars. I reckon that would be quite fun. Uh, Spin cycle again, just the rounds with the spinning plates. Wait. Yeah. So Dizzy Heights, DoorDash, Whirligig, rounds like that. Four Ball, Oopsie Daisy, Bobble Trouble, the Swiveler again because I guess the platform that everyone's on kind of counts as like a spinning platform. It counts in my eyes. And then the final round would be either Lost Temple again with potentially spinning, just spinning plate variations as all the rooms, and Royal Fumble, which of course has a couple of spinning plates. And one of the things I that is interesting about these is Jumping for Joy and Spin Cycle in particular. In the Time is Kudos event, they had 2 rounds that didn't have those obstacles. Uh, they had a round each that didn't have those obstacles. The round in Jumping for Joy was Short Circuit. I didn't see any spinning beams in Short Circuit. And as for Spin Cycle, they chose Jump Showdown as the final, which of course, come on guys, just because it's got spinning bars and it's got fans and it spins round and stuff spins round, it doesn't mean it's spinning plates. Those things are different. Get it right. Uh, Next we have Gravity Wheeled, which is all the low gravity rounds, which includes every single round from season 4 apart from Big Shots, I think. And the final round would be either Full Mountain, Hexagon, or Thin Ice. Yeah, that's all I gotta say on that. Bollard Greens, you know the deal by now. It's Lost Temple again. Same concept. Roll out, roll on, roll off, all those rounds. Bollard Greens would be a great show, honestly, in my opinion. I like. I'd like to annoy people with bollards in a show. Bollards are the most annoying obstacles, and rightfully so. I love Volleyball. We need this. This is another show that we just desperately need. We've got a Button Basher car, a Button Basher Royale, so this would work the exact same way. 16 players, 4 rounds of Volleyball. The final round is of course 1v1. Well, each round's a 1v1. And yeah, Volleyball is just an amazing round, and I'd love to see more of it. Bring this. Make this a reality. I want to play more Volleyball. Volleyball is one of my favourite rounds. And last but not least, we have, well, I say last but not least, we have an event coming up after this, like a tournament idea of all guys. So we have the Lost Squads, the final regular show. So basically, this is my idea for all the rounds that aren't in squads and how they'd work. Royal Fumble's a very easy one. Sweet Thieves could be, in particular, just as a final in this. I chose to have Sweet Thieves as a final, and that'd be great. And you'd have if there's 3 squads left, it would go to a Sweet Thieves. If it's any other number of squads as a final, it would go to Royal Fumble, which has already been in squads in the past, but has been removed. God knows why. Please bring it back. My ideas for how these rounds could work are short circuit and speed circuit. They just need to have a simultaneous thing on the top saying one on, like, maybe on the left, partially towards the left, they'd have the thing saying the squad position, and then to the right, they'd have the lap counter, and then they just have to go with the same point system. Same for speed circuit, just to try and, yeah. And then the hunt rounds, we have tail tag. Now, my idea for this is each squad has 2 people with a tail, and for every second you hold a tail, you get a point for your squad, and it goes into the squad score, which would be in the top right. Just like in every other round, the top middle would show your position, and there would also be the timer, which is a minute 30, just like the regular round. And when the timer runs out, the team with the lowest number of points gets eliminated. The teams that have the higher number of points qualify. Um, in the event of a tie, it will go into overtime, maybe, perhaps. Or maybe they could make it work like Team Tail Tag. Button bashers, they just need a bigger map, honestly. Just like with volleyball, they need a big map to accommodate for this, but maybe that could be a variation of button bashers, the XL variant, where there's less arenas but they're bigger. That'd be kind of cool. That'd be quite a cool variation. Penguin Pool Party. Now we've already got, as I say, we've already got Bubble Trouble, Skiffle, and Hoopsy Legends in squads for Penguin Pool Party. They just have to make it. They just have to do exactly what they did for that. So in duos, you'd have to score 50 points to qualify. In squads, you'd have to score 100 points to qualify. Yeah. Airtime and leading light, honestly, they just need to go to make the counter go. They just need to make the counter, or instead of having it as a percentage, maybe having it as score 400 points, and you get a point for every second you're in the zone. That could work, and just make it out of 400. Same thing with leading light, and then bounce party would work the exact same way as Skiffle or Bubble Trouble. Surprised they didn't even put this in squads in the first place. And last but not least, hoverboard heroes. I feel like just getting like 5 points to your squad by qualifying makes sense to me. Someone said about them following the same scoring system as in regular survival rounds. They can't really do that, and they can't really do that because, survival rounds. Because hoverboard heroes, you could just camp on one of the islands and just survive for the entire thing. Just sit on one of the islands for the entire game. That wouldn't really work. But to put it in squads, they just give you like 5 points, just for making it to the end each, and whichever squad has the least amount that make it get eliminated. Also, if your squad just has no one make it, that would also be elimination. And yeah, that's about it for that. And now let's go on to the championship event, which would be like a Fall Guys tournament. You'd have to win 3 games of each cup. We've got a cup for each final, and if you win it 3 games on each, you get 3 extra crowns. It would be a very like a limited time thing, so you'd have like a day to complete each of them. And each cup has its own unique show. So, Jump Showdown Cup, containing the Whirligig, Dizzy Heights, Short Circuit, Power Trip, Bubble Trouble, Tail Tag, Jump Club, the Swiveler, Perfect Match, and Jump Showdown. So it's basically like Jumping for Joy, Just a couple of select rounds from that. And yeah, that's all I've really got to say. You just gotta keep jumping, and it's like just a few hand-picked rounds that make sense for it. Thin Ice Cup, it's all the winter rounds, and I selected Thin Ice to be a survival round as well as a final, as well as having Hoopsie Daisy and Big Fans because they are both. Well, Big Fans is just there's fans all over the place, and it's very season 3 like to have fans everywhere. And Hoopsie Daisy is there because there's a special variation that was in season 3 that is no longer active. God knows why, because that was a very fun variation. The fan variation. I could have also put tail tag with that forgotten variation in as well, but I decided not to. I don't know if is that variation still in tail tag. I have no idea. Comment down below if you know. Anyways, the Hexagon Cup. For this, I went futuristic. I went all the futuristic rounds, including Hexagravity as a survival round. It's not all the rounds in Season 4 because I decided to remove Roll On from the equation because Roll On, let's be honest, is not really futuristic. But yeah, it all leads into a Hexagon finale, and it's all the future rounds with the Hexagravity because low gravity. And it's all futuristic. Hexaring Cup. If I remember correctly, this is the annoying one with a bunch of annoying rounds. You've got Seesaw and Full Tilt, Short Circuit, Wall Guys, and Tiptoe as race levels. You've got Rock and Roll as the team game, and then you've got Tail Tag and Hoopsie Legends, and then your Hexaring final. I kind of struggle with the concepts here, but yeah, it's just gonna be like a bunch of rounds that tend to annoy people, and that tend to be quite difficult sometimes to qualify on because they're a bit annoying. Next up, the Roll-Off Cup. This is just the most difficult rounds because Roll-Off is one of the most difficult final rounds. So we've got Roll-On, both the Slime Climb levels as the race levels. We've got a bunch of survival levels with timers, and we've also got Rollout, which Rollout can be the other round 1 game. You can get either Roll-On or Rollout as round 1. And then we also have Perfect Match, which is obviously going to be the deathmatch variation, just like with the Jump Showdown show, and all into a roll-off final at the end. Lost Temple Cup. Yeah, it's just the jungle rounds, as you'd assume. Treetop Tumble, Lily Leapers. Yeah, you know the drill. Just all the jungle rounds, plus an extra DoorDash, Team Tail Tag, and Perfect Match. I chose them because DoorDash is, of course, just just the non-final version of Lost Temple. You just gotta break through doors. You've got Team Tail Tag, which is kind of like I've always imagined it as like you're jumping around in a pond and it's all animal-like. It seems like a very animal-like round, so makes sense for a jungle. And Perfect Match. Uh, yeah, Perfect Match. Just Perfect Match. I chose it because because the season 5 show was also was also called Logic at one point, and Perfect Match is a logic round, so yeah, it's the only other logic round. Anyway, the Full Mountain Cup. This one, very, very simple. Just a bunch of Season 1 mini games a bunch of hand-picked ones, which were, in particular, mostly race levels, but also Hoarders and Egg Scramble because I felt like it. And because I wanted to get through every single round and I didn't want to leave any rounds out. The Royal Fumble Cup. We've got it's particularly the Season 2 and Season 6 shows. So you've got Night Fever, Full Tilt, Party Promenade, War Guys, and Pipe Dream as the race rounds. You've got Egg Siege as a team round, and you've got your hunt rounds. Airtime, Leading Light, and Hoopsy Legends. And then it's all into a Royal Fumble final. I did this because it feels like they've got more like hunt games, more creative maps. I say creative maps. Season 6 doesn't have the best. But it's alright, I guess. They had the least maps, so I just smashed them together and put them into one. And I missed out big fans because, I mean, it's already in a different show and it's kind of doesn't fit the medieval theme, in my opinion, so yeah. And last but not least, Blast Ball Cup, which is all the sporty rounds, track attack, speed circuit, short circuit. Short circuit and war guys I picked because they were in Sports Fest, and Full Ball. Jinxed, of course, was another one where I just put it there because I wanted every single round to be in there. And it's all into a Blast Ball final. This one will be definitely very fun. And last but not least, the final Gauntlet. Yeah, I know I said last but not least twice, but this is the true last one. The final Gauntlet. 30 to 25 players, and it's just you got 4 rounds and then you go to the final. And the 4 rounds are just tester rounds, just warm-ups for the final. And you can get any round apart from a few of them. Don't worry about that. At any time. So you got Dizzy Heights and DoorDash as substitutes for Four Mountain and Lost Temple, since those rounds can't really be converted into regular race levels, I guess. And you got Tail Tag in as placeholder for Royal Fumble because Royal Fumble I don't think can be converted into a hunt round either. And then we've got survival rounds as Jump Club, Rollout. Well, I guess I kind of found earlier round versions of those rounds, so like yeah, I found what suits those rounds best, I guess. Hexagon, Thin Ice, Hexaring, and Blast Ball, obviously. Those rounds just as survival rounds. And that's it. So, if you guys enjoyed, please leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike. I don't really care. I don't mind. Comment down below what you think of these shows, and I'll see you guys in the next one.